Okay. Hello. So in last 3 days, what we have done, and if you have not seen my last three classes, you can check our YouTube channel Networkings, or you'll be getting an email very soon also. Okay. So yeah. So today is day 4. So in last 3 days, what we have covered the network fundamentals. We have covered OSI model, which is like open system interconnection, and we have covered some part of subnetting, and also additionally we have done some basic practical. I had i have checked with my team, almost like we have created 400 user names and password for lab access, but it's maybe students or few guys are not interested. They are getting free lab access, they are not paying anything, but still they are, maybe I think that is the reason. If till the time we don't pay for anything, we don't value it. So maybe that is the reason. But yes, we have already created a lab access for everyone. We have shared the details on email also, how to access the lab. Okay. So but yes, we are giving that lab access till 31st. If you want to use that and really want to do some basic practicals, you can still access that lab. Yesterday videos and all, like we have shared the email, and additionally you can check our YouTube channel where we have shared all the links. So I'll show you how to access that. I'll share one link with you also. So we are creating notes where we are putting all the details. So you can see day 1 recording, day 2, and I'm going to add the third link over here, that is yesterday class. Okay, that is the third video. Okay. Yeah. So this is third video link. So how to access the lab? You need to go on this website, racks.nwkings.com/8086. Okay. So you need to enter your username, suppose, yeah, and you need to log in. Okay. So as of now, if I'll check, maybe few guys are doing lab or maybe not. But yes, we have created for almost 400 plus users. Like we got a list. In that list, we almost created a lot of accounts. Okay. Yeah. So that is the list. We got around 564 candidates registered for these lab access classes, but most, like only 10-20% are attending the Zoom sessions. But maybe due to lack of time or something. So these all accounts we have created. Okay. So I don't know they are using it or not, but we are, that will be going to expire on 31st of December. Okay. Yeah. So let's start. So like I have created 3 labs here. You can do a basic practical. So today we are going to do another lab also, where I'm going to explain you like how to connect multiple different locations. And okay. So yesterday we discussed, I'm going to explain you today what is ARP. Okay, so we will discuss now ARP, and after that I'm going to explain you about the packet flow, and third thing we are going to discuss DHCP, and fourth thing we are going to discuss Telnet today. So are you guys ready? Just say yes in the chat. Okay, good. How can access? These are not PPTs, these are my notes which we have created for you. So I'm going to share link in the, just check the link in the chat. I have shared the link. So all details are mentioned here also. Okay. And you'll be getting one email also if you want to join, or like if you want to join my CCNA batch, which is starting from 11th. And going to start one CCNP batch also, that is from 9th Jan. Okay, that details I'll share in the email. Okay, so keep checking your email. That comes might be with some discount. Okay, so let's go ahead. Yeah, you need to always use HTML console. Native console will not work. Only use HTML console. So when you log in, right? So there are two options: HTML console, native. You have to use HTML console. Native, we have blocked the ports. Okay. So what is ARP? What is ARP? So ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. Okay. So Address Resolution Protocol. So I'll give you one example. Like if I have one computer A here and B on the another side. So like my computer will have one IP 1.1.1 and B will have 1.1.1.2, right? So if they are connected together, and in this computer you are going to type in the command prompt ping 1.1.1.2. So why we are doing this? Because we want to confirm if this device is connected to me or not. So ping actually means I'm going to send some messages to this router, so the sorry, to this PC, so that PC will reply back, right? So I'll get replies. But what is ARP? When we send data to anybody, we need MAC address of that device also. Okay, so if I'm sending a data to 1.1.2, so I need MAC address of this device. By default, my computer does not have MAC address. This computer will not have. So every computer, like it's a Windows or Linux or something, they have ARP table, ARP table. So what you will see in ARP table, you will see all MAC address against with the IP. So suppose this IP is 1.1.2. So computer A is going to store the MAC address with the corresponding B. Suppose this is MAC address of B computer and this is for A computer. Okay. So if I want to send a ping packet to this device, I need MAC address of this device first. Okay. I'll explain again. So computer A has a IP 1.1.1 and computer A has a MAC address AA. So computer A will have a table that is known as ARP table, Address Resolution Protocol table. So whenever we send data to anybody, we need a MAC address for that device. So if my ARP table have no ARP entries, it means if I don't have any entries, what will happen? I'm going to shoot out a ARP broadcast packet. ARP broadcast packet, and I'm going to ask who is, so I'm going to ask who is 1.1.1.2. Okay, so whenever you send a ping packet or anything to 1.1.2, so the ping packet will be on hold. I'm going to say just hold the packet. Before I send data, let me check if I have MAC address of that device. So if I want to send any data to this device, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to check if I have the MAC address of 1.1.2, but sadly I don't have MAC address of 1.1.2. And if I don't have MAC address, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send ARP packet first before sending data to get the MAC address. So I'm going to send a ARP request. Please give me your MAC address, and B will send. B is going to respond with his MAC address. And we are going to store that into our ARP table. So once we have the MAC address with the correspondence IP, then I'm going to send data. So till the time you don't have ARP entry, the machines don't send data to the device. Clear? Yes or no? Okay, great. Okay, and this is the story of two computers, but when I'm going to connect with a router, suppose like this scenario, what will happen? If I want to go from 1.1.1 to 7.1.1.1, what will happen? This computer does not have MAC address of 7.1.1, right? So this computer will not have 7.1 MAC. Then I'm going to send information with the help of router to another network, because router is a device to connect with the different network, and this network is in different network. So I'm going to get the MAC address of my gateway. What is the gateway? The router IP is known as gateway. So instead of getting the ARP entry for different network device, so my computer will have ARP request, or my computer is going to send ARP to my router to get the MAC address of router. So instead of saving different network MAC address, I'm going to save the MAC entry for 1.1.100 and corresponding MAC address, like suppose double C, like that. Because I will only have my LAN network IPs or my gateways MAC address in my ARP table, because like if you want to connect different network, you need a router. Okay, and router does not forward the broadcast packet, and ARP packet is a broadcast packet. So if you are going to send a ARP message, router is not going to forward to another network, because router stop broadcast. So if we can't send ARP or broadcast packet to outside network, then router is going to respond with his MAC address. So I will only have MAC address of my router. Very good question, Rajat. Rajat is asking how computer will understand if another device is in my network or different network. I'll explain. Okay, that is known as ending process. Okay, I'll explain this. Okay, so ARP is clear. Connect audio. Ashik. So let me show you one practical. Okay, so let me turn on my two machines again, and let's see if both the computers are understanding the MAC address of each other or not. Okay. So my two machines are here. Yes, yes, Harshika. Like the ARP table we have of computers, we have ARP table of PCs and routers also. even router is like a computer only. Router is just like a computer. It has RAM, the storage capacity. So all most of the things are similar. But router is actually meant for to connect different networks. Okay, so my both the PCs are here, and let me check if I have given any IP. I don't think so. We have given any IP address. So let me give any IP address 1111. Okay. So in another PC, see from my last 11 years experience, trust me guys, there are many guys who actually come for interview, but it's not like that. They don't have very advanced knowledge. Actually, the problem, they are not getting selected in interviews because of their network fundamentals knowledge. They lack network basic knowledge. They don't know OSI model. They don't know TCP3 handshake and all. So to get a job, you don't have to be expert. If you know the basic also, you can still try and get a job. Okay. So rather than becoming a network ninja before learning expert courses, you should be very good in network basics. Like one guy asked me with this question just now, Rajat Mittal, sir, how computer identifies if the network, if another device is in my network or not? So if you don't know this, it means you will not crack very good interviews. Actually, it's a process of ending, so I'm going to explain it today. Cisco IOS is developed on Unix or Linux. It's a Linux based operating system. Yeah, fundamentals never change. Okay, so I have given the IP address. Let's go on CMD and I'm going to type first. Let's see ARP table, ARP hyphen A. So I'm getting automatically this computer is getting 1.1. Let me delete this ARP hyphen D. Okay, ARP hyphen D is to clear your ARP table. So ARP hyphen 8 means my computer does not have any MAC address. So whenever I am going to send 1.1.2 any packet to 1.1.2, so what will happen? Like whenever we send data, actually the network is very fast. You don't see any drops, right? Because it's a LAN network. So actually my device sends a ARP request first and get the MAC address of 1.1.2. You can see the MAC address is already in my ARP table before sending this ping packet. Or you, whenever we send data, so the data will be on hold. Computer is going to ARP first, and ARP will get the MAC address of another device. Then I'm going to send data. Okay, so means we need MAC address of the same device where we are going to. If this computer is going to 1.1.2, I need MAC address here. Okay, so you can see this entry is dynamic, means the computer is generated this MAC address or got this MAC address automatically. This is not a manual entry. Okay, but yes, you can do a ARP in Windows. You can do a static entry also like ARP hyphen S 1.1.1.2. And what would be the MAC address? Let me take from here. 50. Yeah. So, so this is giving me one error access deny because maybe I have not. Uh, I need to run as administrator or something. Let me do that. So CMD. So I'll do it run as administrator paste the Arpenter edition field access net. Maybe it's already there. This is the reason. Yeah, now it's taken, right? So let's check now arp-a. So you can see this is a static entry. So my computer will only listen this MAC address or only send the information to this MAC address. Okay. It's a good way if we don't want ARP broadcast. Okay. Yes. Got it. So in Windows, there are a lot of commands, guys. Like if you learn this CLI, so it will help. So So in Windows, you can give the command with like if you want to assign IP address, so you can give the name also, or you can assign the IP address from commands also. Like there is a command called netsh. So netsh. So you can see I'm inside netsh, and here I can give the IP address. So netsh interface like that. IPv4 set address name. So my interface name is, I think. So what is the command? My net interface name is, I think this is the interface name. Yeah. So this is my interface name. So this is how you give actually IP address. You can Google it and learn about the netsh. So I remember I used to give IP address with the command also. So right now, so this is just to have more knowledge, nothing else. We know how to give IP address, so that is also enough. And if you want to give IP from here, you can also give IP from here also. Okay. So we have cleared the. Okay. So this is all about ARP. You can check there, like you can just type netsh hyphen help, and it will show you what are the commands used for. Okay. So so now we are going to do a lab again. So in this lab, I'm going to add 4 routers. So this lab will be known as static routing. Okay. So I'm going to do a lab for static routing. So in this, what we are going to do, we are going to take 2 routers. Okay. So these are my 2 offices. Okay. So you can just take an example of these are my two of branches or 2 offices. So I'm taking 2 switches here. So in the yesterday practical, we had only 1 router, but here you can see I have 2 routers. Okay, so let me add here one Linux machine. Let me check if this Linux machine works or not. Yeah, so this Linux machine is working fine, and we can give IP from here. Or yeah, so this IP is showing me. So we have not given any IP to this Linux machine. So I'm adding one basic Linux machine over here so that you can run few commands for Linux also. Okay. See, we need to learn multiple technologies. So real networks are mix. We can't stick to only router and switches. We need to learn a few other things, and Linux is very important for even network engineers. So when you will be with any good company, they actually get the logs on Linux machines. So we need to find the logs with the Linux machines. So that is the use of Linux. If you are asking me why we need Linux or why we want to learn Linux or Linux, whatever you want to say. Okay, so this is my topology. Looks good. Yes, guys, it's visible. Okay, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide one network into two parts because we have learned basic subnetting. So suppose we have a network that is 192. We have a network 192, 168. Okay. So we have a network 192.168.1.0/24, and I want to divide this network into two parts. So what exactly I have to do? So I have total network bits and host bits. So total I have 24 and host is. And if you don't know this, just check my third day video. I have already shared the link. Okay. So host is 8, right? So how many networks we want from this network? We want two networks. So if we want two networks, how we get two? When we take to the power of 1, right? So just check the power. So we want to divide into two parts. So how we get 2 when we say to the power of 1, then it's 2, right? If I want to divide this network into four parts, then I will have to the power of 2. So we need to check the 2. We always keep checking the power. So here I got the power 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce 1 here and I'm going to plus 1 here. Okay, because I need more networks. So this will be 25 and this will be 7. Cool. So now this 7 means to the power of 7 is 128. So my network will divide 0, 128. It will go 255 and before 128 we get 127. So these will be my two networks. Super easy. Yes or no? Okay. So I will have 192.168.1.0/25. Okay. And don't worry if you don't know this, you can keep checking the old videos. And so here I'm going to give, see, we have two groups here. So 0 we can't give because this is the first IP. This first IP is known as network ID. So I'm going to assign 1 So I will write 1 here, and from this block I will write either 129, or you can take a round figure here also, like 200, because 200 IP is from this group and one IP address is from this group. Okay. So I'm going to write here 192.168.1.200. Okay. So these are two different networks. So why we have done subnetting? Because we want to give to our two locations. If we will not do subnetting, we have to use different network. Okay. So between these two routers, I need one another network. Okay. So maybe I'll use, let's take basic one. So I'll not, so let's take another network. So I'm going to take here 200.1.1.1, and here I'm going to take 200.1.1.2. Okay. So below you can see my window machine. I'm going to assign here 192.168.1 dot. Let's take 1.2, because here I'm going to give 192.168.1.1. And below here I'm going to use 201. Okay, and this Linux machine I'm using first time, maybe it's based on different IP. Let's check how to give IP to this machine. Okay, so let me turn on more action, start all nodes. So all of my devices are almost ready. Okay, so are you ready with the are okay? Okay, let's start. Yeah, so let's count on uh, why I'm not able to type, just hold on. Yeah, got it. So we have three networks. One is this. So one we have this network. Another is this one. Sorry, what is, yeah. So one first network, second network, and third network. So we have three networks. So first, second, third. So remember always, like when you connect routers, so router ports facing each other should be in same network. Okay. So when we connect two computers with each other, they should be in same network, then only they speak. So it goes with the router also. When we connect two routers facing each other, should be in same network. Okay. So here I'm going to assign IP address, and then we are going to assign the IP address on Windows computer. So let me start router 1. So this is my router 1. So remember always we need to do no here. So now we are inside router. Why we always say no here? Because it is asking me if I want to do some automatic configuration or not. So just in a short, like in a simple language, I can say that if you really want to become a network engineer, always say no. Yes is for those guys who are like very beginner. Okay, if you want, router will set up all the configuration for you. So always say no so that you can type the commands. Okay. So this is my lab. Let me take a screenshot. So this is my lab. Okay, so I'm going to type the configuration here. So what would be the commands? So this is a notepad. Okay, this is a software which I'm using for my notes. That is a Notion. So you can use it for free. Okay, so that is, I'm first of all to go inside the router, I need to type one command, that is enable. So I'll show you here also the commands, and I'm going to type the notes for you. So enable. So once you go enable, you need to type configure terminal. This is the second command to go to the upper level. So that I have already discussed, I think, in second day videos. So now we are inside router global configuration. So we can change the router name, host name R1, host name R1. So you can see we have R1 now, and you can see I have two interfaces. One is FA00, if you can see here, if it's visible to you. So FA00, that is fast Ethernet 00. It's a port where my switch is connected, and FA01, that is another port. So inside my FA00, I need to give IP address. What is the command? IP address 192.168.1.1, 255.255.255. By default it's 0, but we have done subnetting. And what is the subnet mask of /25? 255.255.255.128. If you don't know this, just watch yesterday video. Means you need to learn all three sessions, then only you will understand day 4 also. If you are skipping those sessions, might be you will not understand. So no shutdown. Okay, and on FA01 I need to give 200.1.1. So in interface FA01, IP address 200.1.1.1, no shutdown. So we here I am not doing any subnetting. So tell me guys if you have any problem in this. I'll share a Notion link, don't worry. So interface FA00, IP address 192.168.1.1. Okay, cool. Let's give IP on another router also. So I'm going to make a duplicate of this, and I'm going to just add here. So here I'm going to type for R2. On R2, FA00 is 200.0.1.1.2, and on FA01 I'm going to have what IP? I'm going to have 1.200. Rest all commands are same. So just I have changed the IP address, changed the host name, and rest all things are same. Okay, so let's go to router 2 now. So this is router 2, and I'm going to say no. So give yourself a score out of 10. If you understand whole, just type 10. And if you understanding a little bit, just give 3, 4 score to yourself. Okay, great. Okay, don't worry. I have already shared this. I'm going to share this link again with you. Just watch these 3 videos first and you will understand, and you will also get 10 out of 10. Okay. Chintan ji, you are watching from day 1 and you are still saying 10. Sorry, na 8. You need to keep revise the things. Okay. Rahul, you are my old student, man. I remember you, right? So how? Okay, Adnan, don't worry. Okay. Okay, so we have given IP address and let's go with config T. Okay, host name R2, interface F01, IP address 192.168.1.200. If you don't understand, just copy it. First time you do practical by just checking the notes, and after that try to implement from your own. Okay. You know what is the best thing about learning networking? Like you are doing something, and if you do something, it actually motivates you, that it actually rewards you that you are doing something, and when the practical gets successful, na, so it motivates you to do more and more. So whenever anybody thinks that we will only check the books, we will only check the videos, or you will learn the by videos, it is not going to work for you. In this IT, when you do it, then actually you get motivated to learn more. Okay. So rather than just learning, learn with by doing it. Okay. So we have given IP address R1 and R2, right? So tell me, let me give IP address to my machines now, and let's check if they will ping each other or not. So what do you think? Without doing anything, are they going to ping each other, or we need to do something routing or something? 192.168.1.2. So we want this computer to connect with the gateway. So let's test if my gateway is pinging 192.168.1.1. So you can see I'm getting a reply from my gateway. And let's try to ping the another router, which is like 200.1.1.2. We are unable to ping that router IP. It means your ping, so it means your ping is going from here to here, but this router is not responding. Why? Why my computer or my router is not responding? Okay, so if I'm pinging to this IP address, this router is not replying me. You can see ping is getting drop. So you can see requested timeout. Requested timeout comes when your destination is not replying you back. Most of the times this is the issue. Okay. Why we are getting this? Because we don't have route to the destination. What does it mean? When you send any information to this router, and which IP I am going to, my source is 192.168.1.2, and router 2 does not have this IP information. This router does not have any information. So let's check our router. So let's go to router 2 and check one command, show IP route 192.168.1.2. So what exactly router is showing me this? Show IP subnet not in table. It means 1.2 is not having any route. To reach 192.168.1.2, I don't have any route. Okay. So this is the problem. So here what we have to do, because remember this term that router only have its directly connected information. It means router will only have its links information. So if router 1 is connected with this link and this link, so router 1 will have only these two networks in the routing table. Let's test. So let me go to R1 and let's check with the command show IP route. So can you see I have only two networks, 192.168.1.0/25. Sorry, this is R2. Yeah, so let me check here. Show show IP route. Yeah, guys. So you can see I have only two networks, 200 and 192.168.1.025. But I don't have that subnet network 192.168.1.128, but R2 has. You can see R2 has 192.168.1.128. This is the subnetted network, but this router only has 192.168.1.0. It means we need to create a route. We need to set up a manual route that is known as static route. So S stands for static. It means I'm going to add that route manually. So how to add? So go to configure terminal and I'm going to type IP route. And what is the IP address? 192.168.1.28. Why I'm giving 192.168.1.128? Because that is my network ID. And if you don't know what is the network ID, just check the another router and you will find that network ID here. So this is my network ID. The first IP address of any subnet is known as network ID. Always remember when we give static route, we always give network IDs in most of the scenarios. This is not a language. This is the just simple commands. This is not a language, NAB. So IP route 192.168.1.128. I am going to type here 255.255.255.128. Now router 1 is going to this network with the help of router 2, right? Route If router 1 wants to communicate with this network, router is going from 200.1.2. Means router 1 wants to go to 192.168.1.128 and this is the subnet mask. Here I have to add what? Next hop. So first we always type network ID. Here I always type subnet mask. And here always I give next hop. Next hop means the neighbor router. Okay, the neighbor router is my next hop IP address. So my neighbor router IP is, I'm getting this route from where? I'm getting this IP or route from router 2. So that is 192.168.1.128, 255.255.255.128, 200.1.1.2. So in router 2 also, so when we have static route, now my computer is going to send information to this machine. And when this machine is replying back, now router 2 needs this IP address. So now router 2 does not have any entry. So router 2 also should router 2 should also know this network, that is 192.168.1.0. So on router 2, I'm going to type IP address of router 1. So what is the IP here? 192.168.1.0. So on router 2, I need to create a static route, IP route 192.168.1.0, 255.255.255.128, and my IP address, neighbor IP address is 1. So these are the two static routes you need to create on R1 and R2. And let's test if we are getting the ping. Yes, we got the ping from R2. But we are not pinging Linux machine right now because we have not configured it. So let's give the IP control panel or maybe network. Yeah, from here we can give IP. So IP address is 192.168.1.201 something. Okay, and my gateway is 200, I think, and apply. I think 201, yes. So let's test if my machine is pinging 192.168.201. So 192.168.21201. Yeah, so we got the ping, guys. Can you see that my Linux machine is connected? Can you see now? So you can give the command on Linux with the terminal also, but that is a little bit complex with if config command. Okay. So here you can see I have given here inet address 192.168.1.201. Okay. So now my Windows machine is pinging my Linux machine. And you can see both the networks are in different locations maybe, or you can see that both different networks are connected. So I'll type here static routes. Maybe you are getting confused how to give. Let me repeat it. On R1 has only 192.168 1.0 network and 200. So it means router does not have 192. Yeah. So router does not have 192.168 1.128 subnet mask, and the next hop IP means router to IP address. So this is the route on R1 I have to give. Okay. And on R2, I need to create the reverse static route. So reverse static route means instead of 128, because 128 is his own directly network, here I have to give 200.1.1. So router 1 will create a static route for this network and router 2 will create a static route for this network. This is I have done. Okay, just understand my why I have added static route, because when traffic is going from this computer, router 2 is not forwarding the packet to 192.168 this 1.20, because we don't have information of this 192.168.1.200 network on R1. So we have created, and what is the network ID of this network? 192.168.1.128. 128. So this is the reason we have added here 192.168 1.128. You can see here. And if it's little bit complex to you, so don't do subnetting, just learn. And let me change the IP address if you are getting confused. Okay, so you can change the IP over here also. Like if I can give here 2.1. Okay, so you can change IP 2.1 here. Okay, so you can do like that also, but I'll keep this so you can do it on yourself. Okay, so this lab is already in your system. I'm not saving or anything here. So you have to complete this lab, and I have already shared the notes with you. Okay, and before I stop these devices, let me show you how to configure DHCP. So what is DHCP? When my computer gets IP addresses automatically, and let's understand what is DHCP. Okay. Guys, let's take 5 minute, 3 to 5 minutes break. Okay. Okay. I'm audible? Okay, Ji. So let's go ahead. Okay. So let's understand what is DHCP. Okay. So DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So when you want that your router should give IP address to your computers automatically. So DHCP is a protocol which assigns IP addresses automatically. Okay. So in DHCP, what happens? So suppose this is my computer and this is a DHCP client. Okay. And your server could be your Windows server, or maybe you can have a router as a your DHCP server. So it depends on company to company. Some configure on servers and some configure DHCP pool on router also. Okay, so if you have a very big company, you can configure DHCP pool in a server, and when you are a small medium scale enterprise, you can configure on a router also. And in our home connections, we use router as a DHCP server. So these are my servers. Okay, so they will work as a DHCP server, both the devices, and this will be my DHCP client. So there is a concept known as DORA. What is DORA? So first I'm going to send a discover, and so client sends discover. So what does discover means? Discover means to find the DHCP server. To find the DHCP server, I'm sending, or clients is the whole, like maybe you have 100 computers in your networks, all are going to send a discover packet to search, to find DHCP, to find DHCP server. Okay. And now server will, or router will check its DHCP pool table. There is a table known as DHCP pool table where all the IP addresses are written, and it will be like that. All IPs are free or assigned. So whatever IPs are free means they are not used anywhere. It is going to send one free IP which is not allocated to client with the offer message. Offer message of any IP. Maybe this computer has 192.168.1.2. Now offer message is to allocate. Instead of allocate, you can see that. So server is going to offer IP address from the pool. What does pool means? Pool means like a group. Okay. Maybe it has a pool of around 250 IPs. So one IP address is going to allocate to this client. So now if everything is okay, then client is send a request packet. Okay, give me this IP. So here I'm just showing, I'm just offering, are you okay with this IP 1.2? And request means yes, I am okay with this IP. Please give me this IP. So in which packet we get all IP configuration? In the last packet, acknowledgement. Send me IP configuration. So request packet is to get the IP configuration, and in acknowledgement you get the, here is the configuration. Here is the configuration. So in acknowledgement packet, the server will send the IP configuration details. Yes, offer is unicast. Discover is broadcast packet. Offer is unicast packet. Okay. So again, I'll repeat. So client is going to send a discover packet to find. Suppose I am a server, okay, and you all guys are clients. So first, you are going to send a discover packet to me, and I'm going to give IP addresses from this pool. So this is DHCP table. So I'm going to send you all one IP address. So all you have different IP address. And if you like the IP address and all, so you will request me, send me the IP configuration, and with the acknowledgement packet, I'm going to send all the details in acknowledgement packet. See, acknowledgement request will be unicast, and rest you can check with the some packet capturing tool like Wireshark and all. So I'll add one screenshot in your notes so that you will understand DHCP. Yeah, so you can see here. So this so DHCP discover is a broadcast packet according to this image, and then we get offer as a unicast. Again, computer does not have any IP address, right? In this packet also we don't have any IP, so still we are going to send the request to the as a broadcast to the server because it will have DHCP server IP and it is going to send unicast. Okay. So your discover messages from client is always broadcast and messages from server is unicast. Okay. So you want me to configure DHCP server in our practical? No. Then why you are here, man? Somebody is saying no. You can take leave. Yeah, I'm going to configure a DHCP server. Okay, so I'm going to configure a DHCP server in this R1 so that my window machine will get IP address automatically. Adil, I'll explain ending process. Trust me, I'm going to explain. Okay, so let me configure DHCP on it. So on R1, I'm going to configure a DHCP pool. This is not the last session. We will have last session tomorrow. So DHCP pool, how to configure? It's very simple. Go to R1 and in the enable configure terminal, and I'm going to type here IP DHCP pool, and we can write any name here. So suppose LAN network. Okay. So you can give your name also here. Okay. So we will create a pool IP DHCP pool LAN network or anything, any name. And then we will type the IP address of a router, default router. Who is the router? Router IP would be 192.168.1.1. Okay. And for which network we need to give IP? 192.168.1.0, 255.255.255.128. Here we are assigning the pool. The IP addresses from this pool will be assigned to your machines. So here I'm making a pool. I'm giving here default router 192.168.1.1. This is my gateway for all my devices. And what is the pool? Pool is give IP addresses from this pool. It means the block of this IP 1.0 to 1.127 where we have done subnetting. So we are going to assign IP addresses from here. Source MAC would be the computer MAC address, right? So let's see if my window machine will get the IP addresses automatically or not. So how to choose a DHCP? Because we have given static IP, we need to change the properties with the DHCP. And by default, all your machines have this options enabled. Obtain an IP address automatically. So let's check if the computer will get any DHCP IP. Status, detail. Yes, we got the IP, guys. DHCP is enabled and we got the IP address 192.168.1.2. The same IP which we have given in static. Okay. And in R1, let's check show IP DHCP binding. So this is the pool. Okay. So this is the pool. How to check the pool? Show IP DHCP binding. So what is the command? Show IP DHCP binding to check the pool. So you can see on 192.168.1.2 I have given IP addresses, IP address 1.2, and the lease expiry means this IP address will be given till March 2 2002. Maybe the router have incorrect time right now. Yeah, it's these routers are like 18 years old maybe. No, that actually that clock is not set properly. So you can see in my router it's March 1 and here I'm giving IP till March 02. It means 24-hour lease time. Lease time means this IP address will be allocated to this machine. This is the hardware or the MAC address kind of thing of that device. So if your computer, if you turn off this device and you turn on the device in 1 hour, 2 hour or 3 hour, the device will get the same IP address. But if you turn on this device maybe after 2 days, might be there is a chance you will get another IP from the pool. Okay, clear? Okay, this is how you configure DHCP. Okay. So all of right now in my practical, I have used only one PC. So you can use multiple PCs over here and so that you can connect and check if computer is getting the IP. Yeah, Linux also same like that. You need to just choose the DHCP service. We can configure on R2 also. Let's configure on R2 for better practice. On R2, my default router would be 1.200 router ID IP and pool would be 1.128. This would be the network ID. So on R2, I have to configure like this. So enable configure. So you can use the same name on another router because this is locally significant. Means if I'm creating a pool here, so it is not related to R1. So you can use the same pool name here also. It should not be different. So it's your call. You want to use the same name or you want to use the different name. Okay, and on Linux machine, we need to use this use DHCP apply. So you can see here I got the IP address 1.201. Can you see that? The same config I got in Linux also. Kaleem, actually we have made our router as a DHCP server. We have made this router as a DHCP server. You don't need a DHCP actually server. So this is just a terminology. We can create a DHCP server in our router. This is what we have done. So most of the companies are using this terminology. Just take an example at your home broadband connection. Do you have any server at your home to get the IP address? No, right? So you have your DHCP pool inside your router. Okay. So the same thing we are doing on this Cisco router. So you can configure on any company or any vendor device also, like Juniper, HP, Aruba, any company. So just you need to figure out what are the commands. Okay. See, these are network fundamentals, but I just don't want to stick with the theoretical knowledge. I'm just giving you that practical knowledge. At least you will get an idea if you learn networking, if you go ahead with CCNA, CCNP, what exactly and how you will understand. Because we have limited hours here, okay? But you need to practice more and more, okay? You can't be expert in 5 days, right? So this is just you need to understand how things work, and if you are going to proceed with further advanced things, so you will be learning in this way. Okay. Yeah, so notes link I am going to share, don't worry. Here you go. Okay. So uh so telnet is remaining. So let's do telnet tomorrow. Okay. Or okay.